What's going on, gents, ladies, and gentlemen? Welcome to another broadcast. We're going into week 9, and yeah, if my voice sounds a little bit down, it is. Got Jewel in the background, just crying about everything. Just kidding. No, we're not crying about everything. But I will be remiss if I did not do a little commentary on the election. Um, you know, I got to imagine it's consumed a lot of everybody's time this week, and it consumed a lot of my time. I definitely messed up my prep this week, and definitely watched a lot more of election results every night. And I'm on the computer going, oh, what's going on in this county? Like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And, I think that we are blessed to live in this country, and we are blessed to have differences, and I think that's something that we have to do. I'm 40. I've been through 6 of these things. Joe, you've been through 7. Yeah, probably. I think the rest of us have been through 6, and it's sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and you get excited when you win, you get bummed out when you lose, and I don't know. I've tried to find them. I work with a lot of young people who probably have political affiliations that are, the opposite of mine. And I've tried to find some things this week that we could all agree upon. Because I knew that's, I don't know. I like to be an optimist about these things, guys. And like what was I, what was I agreeing with my staff about this week? Because we had like a no politics rule at work, and I put that in place well before November. I put that in place back in when we reopened, when things were very contentious and we had riots and protests and things that everybody wanted to talk about. And I grew up in an era where you didn't talk politics at work, but I knew it was such things are so hot button, and everybody has all their own information right now. It seems like we used to have like a similar streamline of information, and we don't have that anymore. We have different lines of information, so it's really difficult to navigate at the workplace. And I would wonder if any of you have had the same experience. But one thing that I did find that was universally agreed upon was, how do we count these votes? And how do we have everybody agree that these votes are valid? Because I think we're heading down a dark path, where do we go into every election and say, well, they cheat, he cheats, da-da-da, and we lost and they cheated, or there were voter irregularities. And I thought the one bright spot about this election, at least from my standpoint, was Florida, the state of Florida. State of Florida, which was the laughingstock of my first presidential election, where, we were into late December and we didn't know who was going to be president of the United States. The state of Florida, over 20 years of time, has figured out how to do it. They counted 11 million votes, 10 million votes, whatever it is, in like 3 hours. Like, they know how to do it. The Florida model. Like, they know how to do it. I don't really want to get too much more into it. I actually had a very... Yeah, I'll mention it. I had an experience today that made me realize, I think we all need to come together and also understand that, we are a divided country, but it was really weird, We're a divided country, but we all, a lot of us work toward the same goals on our day-to-day life. And I know that, the sun's going to come up tomorrow, and I'm going to work. Everybody else is going to work, and people that I were working with today, they're going to go up and they're going to go to work tomorrow, and they're going to try to make their lives better. So that's it. Irregularities, all this and that, yes, very well may happen. But I do think that we have to look at it as a local community and realize that your neighbor, despite of how they may have voted, they are your neighbor. And, maybe you try to figure out a way to persuade them, because that's what we do. And that's what I'm going to do going forward. Anyways, that's my rant about the election. And I had to snap into it today after a very, very hard, long day of work. That's why we're doing this so late tonight. And pop back into Week 9 of the NFL slate. Quick look back at Week 8. Great job, Dave. We do the good picks, bad picks thing every week here. The good, the bad, the ugly. Dave, Dolan, you get all the good. All the rest of us get the ugly and the bad. Going 5-0 on a slate, it's so super difficult. I think I'd be throwing shade at you if I didn't just say, good job, congratulations, top. Got that tie at the top, and you and Mike look like you're battling out for the championship this year. Plenty of time left to go. No desperate moves yet to be made by Joe and myself. But we need some swings. And we're sitting in the Donald Trump seat, Joe, of trying to figure out how to get back into this thing. And who knows, draw to the inside straight, all those things. Let's do it. Make it fun. I'd like to have a 3 to 4 horse race going into Week 17. So let's do it, Joe. Come on. Let's go out to the normal here. We'll do the don'ts. We do the do's afterwards, and we're going to go to Nashville, Tennessee. We got the 5-2 Titans hosting the 5-3 Chicago Bears. Bears catching 6.5 solid points all week. 49% of the bets, 81% of the money on the Titans. I don't know. I'm with everybody betting on the Titans. I would lean Titans here. Both teams coming off of 2 losses, and this is kind of a critical control point of both teams' seasons. There was a lot of rumbling about, you go back to Trubisky and things like that this week, and Foles is in because Trubisky hurt his shoulder in practice or something like that. And I don't know. I just could see this being a very ugly game that maybe the Titans win, but maybe not by quite enough. So I just lay off here and I move on to the battle of the bottom of the NFC North, where we have the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Detroit Lions. Lions catching 4 points, 4.5, 4 all week, something like that. Even money split, public, the actual money all week for 50-50. Kind of a weird spot, though. You have your starting franchise quarterback, Matthew Stafford, out all week because of COVID-related contact. And I don't know how to play that. I just don't. My initial reaction is, Stafford probably doesn't have to practice. But, literally, is he, flying in on a private jet tomorrow, Sunday? It's got to throw some things off. I would lean Lions here just because, we're kind of got, 2 even teams, and I'm catching more than 3 points, so I would lean Lions, but do what you got to do there. Let's go out to Washington. Our nation's capital, where the Washington football team are hosting the New York Giants. 3.5 points the Giants are catching to start the week, down to 2.5. A lot of sharp money in on the Giants, and that's why I stay away. Because I lean Redskins here. I've watched a lot of the games. I think the Redskins are a more confident, steady team. The Washington football team coming in off a bye. And I would just play this as kind of an up-down theory, even though the Giants are coming off of a loss, but a very solid, a good loss. And the Redskins coming off a bye, long week, good plan. But I don't know. Just 2 bad teams. God bless you to play this game. Let's go out to an interesting spot here. Kansas City hosting the Panthers. Panthers catching 10.5 big points. That line is up from 10. 61% of the bets, 46% of the money on the Kansas City Chiefs. Definitely one of the ones I had to weed out the end here. I kind of like the Panthers catching over 10 here, over that critical control point. Christian McCaffrey going to play tomorrow, in my opinion. And then just over the last 2 seasons, road dogs after a loss, 67-41-5. I like that for the Panthers. I've talked ad nauseum about Teddy Bridgewater and his against the spread record. 33-11 against the spread in his career as a starting quarterback. And just a spot where I just don't think that everybody likes the Panthers. I've kind of liked the Panthers this week, and I think there's a lot of value on the Panthers. So I would take the Panthers here. I would not lay those big 10.5 points. But here on this broadcast, I also don't bet against the Chiefs, so I just really didn't have much to do there. Let's go out to Indianapolis where the Colts are hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens open up or laying 3. Now they're catching 1. And this is just all off of that. The Ravens having 6 defensive players doing the same thing Stafford did last week. They're active. They're going to play tomorrow, but not practicing this week. Doing Zoom meetings, things like that. Working out at home, not at the facility. So, I really like Baltimore in this spot. I just can't do it. So I would definitely lean Baltimore here, but I stay away because of that. Let's go out to Atlanta, where the Falcons in Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County, right next to Cobb County, are hosting the Denver Broncos. Broncos catching 4 points. Definitely a loser leave home type of matchup here. We've got 2 teams that are like on the fringes of like maybe we can go on a run. Are we kind of sneaky good? Are we really just bad? I don't know. I mean, the Falcons are coming off a long week. They beat the Panthers on Thursday Night Football last week. A couple extra days to prepare, so I like that in the Falcons column. And Denver coming off of a emotional comeback win against the Chargers last week. I would just play this as an up-down game, and I would play the Falcons here with the long week. Denver coming off an emotional win. And I have Drew Lock versus Matt Ryan. So quarterback matchup plus my girl. Go Falcons. Laying the 4. But that's the thing. If it was laying 3 here, I think I'd play Falcons easy. But just can't get off of that number. That's just it's a 1.2 too high for me. Gosh, I want to play this game. I might actually bet this game. This is definitely pick 6 game of the week. I like the Raiders going to LA this week. Raiders opened up catching 3 down to a pick 'em. Chargers, all the money on the Raiders this week, and I'm with that sharp money. The Chargers are like the pretty girl at the prom, but I mean, like, she doesn't score. Nope, she just doesn't put out and doesn't win the game. So, give me the Raiders here in a matchup where I really like. I like Derek Carr hitting Darren Waller for some touchdown scores this week. The Chargers 29th against the tight end. The Chargers secondary 29th against the tight end this year. The Raiders are playing for something. The Chargers kind of aren't. And the John Gruden, Anthony Lynn matchup I like for Gruden, and the Raiders are kind of playing like a little pissed off also because of all the COVID fines that players and the team and everybody have received, and I can see a little bonding over that. So give me the Raiders as a pick. Let's go out to Monday Night Football. Let's just not watch. Let's stay off this game and let's not watch. I am hoping for no plays on the Patriots and Jets this week, and I will be so satisfied on Monday night. Do what you got to do. Make a nice dinner. Get a little early nap. Get to bed early that night. It's really watching this game. It might drive you crazy. Patriots open up laying 7, laying 8.5, now up to 10 by now. Who the hell knows? I mean, I think the Patriots are going to win. Covering 10 points the way they've played the last few weeks. They didn't look too bad last week in Buffalo. Maybe on the uptick. But I don't bet against Bills, so I can't take the Jets. I don't know what to do there, guys. If one of you have a sharp opinion about that game, I mean, God bless you. All right. Get into the dues of the week. Let's go out to sunny, beautiful Buffalo, New York. Oh, yeah, all that warm wind that's been blowing in from the west here in Detroit. Going to be in Buffalo tomorrow. 7 degrees and sunny. Got the 6-1 Seahawks at the 6-2 Bills. Seahawks open up laying 1.5 out to 3. Only 3 though. Buffalo catching 32% of the bets, only 16% of the money, and I'm with that sharp money with this appropriate line movement. That line's probably going to go out to 3.5 or 4 tomorrow. Everybody's going to bang the Seahawks, and I'm banging the Seahawks as well. Seahawks, traveling west all the way out to that East Coast. Well, you know what? They got a system in place because they're 10-2. Seattle, Pete, and Russ, 10-2 against the spread, going west to east, and I like that trend, and I'm going to play it. Also, that Seahawks defense, not very good, But Josh Allen, not very good right now either. Definitely regressing toward the norm. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury. I don't know what's going on. But give me the Seabags there, and I'll lay the 3 happily. Let's go to Jacksonville. Playing an ugly game between two 1-6 teams where the Houston Texans are laying 7 points. Been laying 7 all week. That number has not moved. Money, 50-50 bets, all that stuff, 50-50 on the money. And I just think Houston's a lot better than Jacksonville. Jacksonville going to a second-string quarterback this week. I mean, Gardner Minshew not playing. I don't know how many points that's worth, but it's definitely worth enough for me to bang the Texans this week. And really, if you do go through the Texans schedule, not that they've played well this year. They've been in games, but they've had losses to Kansas City, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, and Green Bay. I mean, those are good teams. That's who they've lost to. Yeah, I don't know. And really, one last point which really put me over the top on this game is Houston doesn't have anything to tank for because they have no draft picks. So they don't care if they go 1-15 or 6-10. So I definitely see one of those 6 wins this week in a blowout against Jacksonville, where the Jacksonville Jaguars are starting a quarterback that none of us know. Let's go out to, I think that's where we're going, yeah. In red ink. Yeah. Let's go out to Dallas, where the 2-5 Cowboys are catching 14.5 points. 14.5 juicy, delicious, 2 touchdown plus points against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And really, this is not a Dallas play. I played Dallas a couple times this year, probably 3 times. I think I'm 0-3 playing Dallas this year. But I'm playing them again. Put my face right back in that clear water. And it's really not that clear. I'm playing against Pittsburgh this week. Pittsburgh, up-down theory this week. Played against Baltimore last week. Got a kind of a grimy win. I don't really think they were the better spot last week, but Steelers got the win. Good on them. And I definitely see this as a letdown game, and I think we get that extra point because Zeke Elliott's going to be out this week. And just like I said about Christian McCaffrey, what's the difference between McCaffrey and Mike Davis, Ed Davis, whatever the hell his name is? What's the difference between Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard? Do we really know? I think we'll find out this week, and I don't care who's starting at quarterback for Dallas. Because you know what? I've got a stat for y'all. Sub 300 teams as a home underdog of 2 touchdowns or more, playing in a 100,000 seat stadium, are going to be 1-0 against the spread forever. Go Jerry! Go the Jerry Dome! Give me them Cowboys, 14.5. Too many points. Let's go out to the desert. Got the Arizona Cardinals hosting Miami Dolphins. Probably my favorite play of the week here. I have no problem laying that dirty 4-hook, that Vegas number, because I really wasn't that impressed with Tua and Miami last week. I think they had some non-sticky things go their way with, defensive touchdowns, punt returns. These things all matter, but those are things that do not carry over. And I like Arizona off the bye here, getting prepared for Tua, and making his life miserable. Arizona secondary is on the come up. Patrick Peterson, Drake Kirkpatrick, probably going to play some tight coverage, and I would look for some turnovers if they try and run the ball. But hey, Miami, you had this running back that you really liked in Myles Gaskin, and he's out for a while. And who are we starting at running back? I just don't. I like the Cardinals being able to put up points. And I don't like Miami being able to move the ball at all. This could be a game where Miami literally turns the ball over twice, maybe has 8 possessions and only puts up 6 points. So I really think I've only got to get to 17 to 20 points here to cover. So give me the Cardinals here at home. Go Kyler. Go Hopkins. Cardinal love. Last game of the week, Sunday Night Football. We've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the New Orleans Saints, and again, I'm laying that nasty 4.5, and I don't really care. Revenge game for Tampa Bay. Got 20-mile-an-hour winds down there in Tampa. Probably only the weather statement we have to have about this week. Really some decent weather across the landscape. It's just a personal play here. I think Tampa is kind of down after last week. Definitely a look-ahead game last week off the short week. They kind of only did what they had to do to win last week, and that's kind of why I took the Giants last week. So now I'm going to play the Bucs this week. I look back to last season, and the only game that we have with Tom Brady and Antonio Brown. And Tom fed him the ball and made the best out of that immediately. And I think Tom's in charge in Tampa, and there's no way you can say any different. Antonio Brown is on that team, and he's going to get fed the ball. So I really like that. Guys, I mean, I'm going to be in sunny Florida. Talking to you next week. A little beach house that's rented. I'll take the laptop out there. Maybe I'll show you a whole place. Maybe we'll do a little bit more fun next week. I don't know when you're going to see the broadcast next week. It might be Saturday night. It might be Sunday morning. The picks will be in time. Go Tampa! See you next week, fellas.